All right, welcome everyone to Algebra 2 Honors. My name is Mr. Saldana. I'm just going to take a little bit of time to introduce the class and introduce the course to you all. So, welcome. Let me tell you all first a little bit about myself. This is my third year at McCarthy. This year I'm teaching Algebra 2 Honors, Pre-Calculus Honors, and Calculus Honors. This is my second year doing Algebra 2 honors. This is probably one of my favorite courses that we offer at the school. It's pretty intense, and we cover a lot of good stuff here, so I'm excited. As far as clubs, I moderate the Mu Alpha Theta Competition Club, not the Honor Society. All right, I know a lot of you are um, probably in contact with Miss Chris Weiser and Miss Thompson for that. I just do the competitions. There are a lot of local competitions that a lot of kids like to compete in. So if you're interested in that, I'm the guy for that. And the National Honor Society, I do alongside Miss Chung. A lot of you guys had her last year for geometry honors. So we do that together. So if you have NHS questions, that is me, that is Miss Chung. Um, As far as my educational background, I went to FIU. I actually went to USF for 2 years, and then I finished my bachelor's at FIU. I have a bachelor's science in mathematics. But I'm not going to talk too much about me. You guys are going to learn more about me as the year goes on, so no need to spend too much time there. I'm just going to kind of jump right into the class. We're gonna do a typical day in this class. So what you guys can expect is to see a do now on the board every day. You guys are going to silently work on this as I take attendance, right? This is to get you in a math headspace. The stakes for this are very low. I don't grade your warm-ups, but I do at least need to see you guys working on them. I will go over them with you guys. This shouldn't take more than 5 minutes, maybe a little bit longer sometimes if you guys have a lot of questions. But this is really, again, just to get you guys in a math headspace. The stakes, again, are very low. I don't grade it. You're not turning it in, but you are working on it. And you are going to have a notability document open specifically for your daily warm-ups. And then I'm teaching content, right? For majority of the class, I am teaching a lesson and you're taking notes. I like to throw in a lot of examples in these notes. You guys are going to see it pretty example heavy and practice heavy. You guys are going to have various examples to try on your own. You guys are going to be able to collaborate with the people around you. So it's not just strictly me talking and doing stuff and you guys are copying it down. I do like to have you guys do some stuff on your own, just to get you guys thinking. Um, but once that's done, you guys are going to have some time to work on your homework and study. If you do have a homework assignment, that's what you're working on. If we have an upcoming test or quiz, you are working on that. You are studying for that. Um, I'm pretty good about posting test reviews and quiz reviews and all that ahead of schedule, so you guys should have access to those at all times. And this is where you guys are working together, right? You guys are going to help each other out. Um, you guys might be at different levels than your peers. So this is where you guys help each other out. You guys are collaborating, and I'm usually walking around and making sure that everyone's on task and good with the material, right? If you guys have questions, that is the chance to ask. Um, but as far as your general expectations, these are some common sense remarks that I wanted to highlight. You guys need to be on time and ready to do the do now. That is your attendance, right? If the bell rings and you are not in your seat doing your do now, I am marking you late and you will get a demerit. Um, while I am taking notes, you guys are highlighting, bookmarking any examples that are a little bit challenging, right? You guys are going to see not every lesson is extremely difficult. A lot of times there are just a handful of difficult problems that you guys might need a little more help on, and that's what we're going to do. Um, as far as missing work, this is bolded because this is an issue every single year. You guys need to make up your missing work promptly. You guys cannot wait until the last minute to make up a test or a quiz. Um, I get really annoying when you're missing something. I email you a lot. I email your parents a lot, several times throughout the week to make sure that you are going to make up a test and a quiz. All right. A lot of people like to skip a day if they're not feeling well prepared for a test or a quiz. This is not the class to do that because if you do that, you are going to fall behind and you're going to struggle to catch up. You're going to be drowning in work. And most kids, I will say, and I've seen it before, most kids that do that, most kids that opt to miss a day and take it later, do not do well in the class. All right. So you want to make sure that you're on top of your missing work. If you're genuinely absent, perfectly fine. Just make things up in a timely manner. There's nothing wrong with that. Um, as far as extra help, please bother me, visit me before or after school for any extra help. I do have official office hours, which I'll highlight in a later slide. But this is where you can ask a little bit more questions than you probably could in class. This is more one-on-one, um, if you need that extra support. Help each other for sure on any classwork or homework. I encourage collaboration. A lot of you can't do this class alone and need the extra help. That's perfectly fine. That's what I expect. And review days, I need you guys to come with questions, all right? It doesn't hurt to look at the review ahead of schedule. So have a look at that, come to class and say number five looks hard, and I'll do number five with you guys. All right, something like that. Um, now, this is an important slide because I do, can I move myself out the way? I do like to cold call. So in class, typically I ask a lot of questions, and a lot of times the same three kids will answer the questions every single time. I don't really like that that happens, especially in Algebra 2 honors, where maybe kids that are struggling don't want to speak up, and maybe the super quiet kids, I never hear their voice. I don't like that to happen. So I like to cold call. And this isn't to embarrass you guys. This is not to like kind of put you on the spot. I know that's what it feels like, but it's really to help you guys. It's really to make you guys think, and make sure that you guys are always prepared. All right. I don't allow you to pass or say, I don't know. So I give you some alternatives here, right? So a whole list of alternatives that you can say instead of, I don't know the answer or pass, something like that. And this is coming from somebody who in school was terrified of cold calling, right? I actually had, when I was younger, I had an anxiety disorder. I could not be called on in class. I actually think I had an accommodation plan that said I could not be called on in class. But um, having gone through that experience and having been in classes where not saying no wasn't an option, I actually am a better, I think those classes did make me better, right? They made me less afraid to speak out. They made me less afraid to make mistakes. And that's really what I want to highlight to you guys is that it is perfectly fine to make mistakes in my class, right? If everybody was getting everything right all the time, then everybody would be taking Algebra 2 honors. And not everyone's taking Algebra 2 honors, right? That's why there's way more regular classes this year than there are honors classes. All right. It's because this class is challenging and a lot of you guys will get things wrong. That's perfectly fine. My class is a safe space for that. I don't care if you get an answer wrong. I don't care if you ask dumb questions. I do care if you're not trying. I do care if you're not participating. And I do care if you're sitting back watching everything happen and then going back to visit things with your tutor later, because that's what a lot of kids do, and that ultimately does not help you. All right. So, my class, you will think, you will try, right? I expect that of you, right? It's not, it might happen, it will happen, right? You guys are going to think hard in this class. As far as consequences go, um, I don't usually give a ton of demerits. And I say this all the time. I give probably more demerits in the first 2 weeks of school than I do in the whole year. All right. Just because the first few weeks of school, you guys are getting used to routine. You guys are getting used to how each class works. My class is very straightforward. It's come to class on time and we're gonna start working. All right. So you're really no surprises in my class. Some ways that you could get a strike in this case, right? And in this case, strike one is going to be a verbal warning. I'm just going to tell you, hey, knock it off, or hey, get off the game, or hey, put your phone away, or whatnot. Um, so there's that. There's a demerit right after. I don't usually give a ton of those. Usually the verbal warning's enough in an honors class. I don't really have a ton of issues in my honors classes. But again, like I said, I mean that those usually only happen in the beginning of the school year as you guys are getting used to new routine and things like that. But then from there, it's smooth sailing. It's really not that big of a deal. Um, some ways that you can get a strike if you're not seated and working on the do not when the bell rings. I do consider you late, and if I do write a demerit for that, it's going to be late to class, right? Even though you're in class, you're late in my eyes because you're not working. Um, if you're out of class for a long period of time, there's various reasons for that. If you have a genuine emergency, then you can tell me that. I don't really care. Um, but if it's like a habit, I'm gonna write you a demerit. Um, this is a no phones class. I don't want you guys getting your phone out for any reason. I mean, you guys have enough technology with your iPad. No games, no texting, no social media, no YouTube or anything like that. And if you're intentionally disrupting the lesson, then you're gonna get a strike as well, right? If you're calling out across the room or I don't know, laughing with your friends in the corner, right? That's annoying, right? I don't like that. If I do feel that you are doing something that is worthy of direct parent contact right away, then I will do that, right? Things include cheating of any kind, right? I'm just gonna give you a referral and call your parents. Any sort of hate speech, any sort of racism, sexism, homophobia. I don't tolerate any of that. This is a safe space for everyone. This is strictly a math class, right? And nobody should feel like they cannot learn math because of hateful comments, right? So I don't tolerate that at all. You will get a referral and a phone call home. Again, I don't usually deal with that in this honors class. Usually everyone's pretty respectful of each other. So I'm hoping that is consistent with this school year. And as far as my classroom agreements go, I'll go through these pretty quickly. These are just things that we should, in general, on a day-to-day basis, go by. Respect everyone, right? Me, yourself, your colleagues, right? Your classmates. Everyone should have a fair opportunity to learn math, and I deserve a fair opportunity to teach math. All right, this is a math class, so that's what I expect. Give your best. I don't care if you're getting an A, a B, or a C. If you're getting a C and that's the best that you can do, that's perfectly fine. In my eyes, right? Maybe you're not happy about getting a C. Then you would try harder and then you would give a little bit better effort, right? That sort of thing. But as long as you're staying engaged, as long as you're challenging yourself, I appreciate that more than somebody who's getting an A and just watching videos all class and they're just naturally smart, which I don't believe in, but um, a lot of people can get away with just doing whatever in class and then getting A's without trying, which for a lot of you, that's not going to happen this year. A lot of you might be used to that, not anymore. All right. This is a difficult class. And if I haven't said it enough, um, take responsibility for your actions. If you're missing work or anything like that, that's not a time to make excuses or anything like that. That is a time to say, yes, I understand, I'm slacking off and I will do better, right? You can just leave it at that and move on. And I'm also going to do my part in making sure that all your grades are updated to date, up to date, sorry, and whatnot. So it goes both ways. I'm also going to take responsibility for maybe if I'm slacking off with grading homework and all that. It happens. Um, and then lastly, support each other. Ask for help when you need it, offer it when you can. You and your friend might be at different levels of understanding in this class. There's nothing wrong with that, but you guys need to help each other out, right? This is a challenging class. It takes a village, so nothing wrong with helping each other. That's what I expect every day. As far as help and support goes, these are my official office hours. They're Tuesdays and Thursdays before school. You can find it on my Canvas homepage. If you need to meet outside of those office hour dates, then you need to either email me or ask me in class if I can meet at so and so date after school, whatever. This is where you guys can ask questions. I can give, I can give you more examples to solidify whatever it is that needs to be solidified and receive clarity on anything that is missing, right? Maybe you've been absent and you want to catch up and you need the one-on-one help. I can help you catch up. Perfectly fine with that. Mu alpha theta, this is a typo, I should say alpha. Mu alpha theta, I'm actually not positive that these are the dates. I actually need to talk to Miss Chrisweiser about that. I'm filming this ahead of schedule, by the way. So I meet you guys on Tuesday, August 11th. It is now Saturday, August 8th. Um, so I'll probably have more information as I meet you guys and whatnot. Um, but this is where you guys can get help from your peers. So other students that have taken this course and are willing to help, you can find them there. And then my YouTube playlist, I record all of my lessons and you can find them all on my Canvas homepage. I can talk more about that in class, but if you're absent, watch the video, take the notes, and you should be fine. Um, but that's all. I'm looking forward to a great school year. Um, and this is again just as a this is just a little video that of everything that I went over in class, right? So that Tuesday, August 11th is when I'm going to go over all of this with you guys in person, but maybe you're absent. I know a lot of freshmen are out on the link crew stuff. A lot of link crew leaders as well, or you're just absent, whatever. Or you just need a refresher, you can go back here and look at my classroom expectations. But alrighty, looking forward to a great school year. Take care, everyone.